Hi everyone, my name is Maria and I'm the Green Stitcher here on Flosstube and over on Instagram. And welcome back if you are a returning viewer, and welcome if you're new. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me. I'm filming today, September 1st, first day of calendar autumn. Very glad we're finally here. It's late in the afternoon, so it's a bit cloudy and darker on the side of the house today for some reason, but hopefully again you'll be able to see everything that I'm sharing today. So I wanted to come back and give you the stitchy update on the rest of my Stitchy August. So this is going to be the second half of the month. If you haven't seen the first one, I'll pop the link to it here. This month I decided to do an impromptu middle of the month Stitchy update and shared quite a few of the projects I worked on in August. It just so happened that the first half of the month was more it's not that it was more dense with stitching, because I stitched almost the same in the second, but I stitched on more projects in the first half of the month than in the last half. And I will also be showing you my haul today, my purchases for all of the August, and share a couple of bits of life update and also some of the sort of stitching related things I've been up to in August. So I'm hoping you'll see this video sort of at the very beginning, sort of the next couple of days. I have not closed the giveaway that I started in the last video again. In the first half of August, I decided to leave it on. There's only been sort of a couple of comments on that video. I'll close it at the end of September. I'm just giving myself some room just in case I don't come back for the middle of the month update in September. So end of the month is in September. If you enter by, how many days? I forgot, 30 probably if it's September. Yeah, if you want to enter by September 30th midnight, then you're welcome. So like I said, today I'll be showing you what I worked on in the second half of August, and I actually had a finish and an FFO. I'm probably going to show you things in the wrong chronological order, just like I said, because I have a finish and an FFO. So I'll start with that. And this was a funny one. I was stitching on something else and then I got really angry at myself that I haven't finished it yet. It's a tiny project. I started it in May. There was literally like less than 1,000 stitches here, I think. And this is the Ship in a Bottle by Susan Penny, I believe, from the Cross Stitcher magazine that was released, I think, last May. That I started during my mania as an impromptu start that wasn't planned whatsoever, and I was going to stitch it as a bookmark as intended, but I swapped the Ada from the kit that was included into the magazine bundle for white perforated paper by Mill Hill, which I love stitching on, and I'm not a big fan of Ada, and it's easier to FFO a paper design into something like a bookmark, I think. So a couple of changes that I've made that you've seen. The C here is stitched with a few shades of blue, and I've decided to be cheeky and stitch it with one thread that is variegated. So I've used an owl forest embroidery 407 from my stash that I had left over from the King Thistle design I stitched a couple of years ago. And so here's what I have in the end. The ribbon's a bit floppy. So what I've done is, I think you've only seen some of the C, and I basically stitched the rest of it. So I got angry at myself that it wasn't done, and then I just sat myself down and one afternoon spent just knocking it out of the park and completely finishing all the stitches and FFOing it as well. So it's got quite a lot of backstitch, especially in the C here. I'm not sure if you can see it as well as you can on the preview because I changed the colors, but yeah, you can see it, right? And then the so all of the C is stitched with that Owl Forest floss and the clouds as well. The rest of it I stitched using the flosses from the kit, which have DMC numbers, but they didn't feel like DMC. They felt a bit more sort of artificial kind of cotton, not 100% cotton, but I'm not sure. And then I asked my husband, because I stitched it for him, how he wanted me to FFO it, and he liked the idea of cutting out the felt to be sort of slightly bigger but still trace the shape of the bottle. And then he likes these ribbons in his bookmarks, so I just took one from a bookmark of mine, because I don't like these, and cats usually try to catch bookmarks by them, and so I've put those in there. So it's just backed with felt, like I said, and these are all glued in. Quite a small finish, but I'm quite happy that it's done. It's over, it's FFO'd. I promised him to give it to him as soon as I filmed the video, so he's been waiting patiently for a few days now for me to give it back and use it actually as intended as a bookmark. He's the same as me, reading 2 to 5 books at the time, and so he needs loads and loads of bookmarks, so I guess it's not the last one I'm stitching for him. So that was the only FFO and finish of the second half of August. As you've seen, I've had quite a few in August, so that was quite fun. And then I went on working on the on my Mirabilia. I think I showed it to you at the end of the video last time, because that was the last project I worked on in the first half of the month, and I did say that the first half of the month was kind of fine and okay life-wise, and so I was a bit bored and I was jumping projects, but then I couldn't sort of settle on one for longer than 1,000 stitches, and I had such fun time stitching on her that I stuck with her for another 1,000 and made quite nice progress. So here is Miss Dancing Flower. I'm just showing again for reference. And I'll show you just one thing. I've shown the bag a million times, but I don't know if anyone else does this or they have a different system. So this is my cheat sheet for the beads. I will put the type of stitch that is needed, so half crosses or crosses. I think, as far as I know, the ones I've stitched only used half crosses to sew on beads. And then I'll put the numbers for the beads, and then I'll put whichever I chose is the most sort of relevant color of the DMC for them, so I don't forget, and next time I go beading, you know, I look at my cheat sheet, because that's one thing I can't do in Cross Stitch Saga, unfortunately, is do that. So I keep this to one side. And so she is on the scroll frame, just a second, and like I said, had a fantastic time working on her. There we go, there. Yep, perfect. So like I said, I did 1,000 stitches in the first half of the month. I think I probably filmed on the day where I stitched more on her after I'd done filming and was editing the previous video, and then I did another 1,000, and so my overall progress in August was like 2,100, which was fantastic, and I think it's my most progressed whip in August. Yeah, I had a really good time. Again, I was jumping colors here just so it's a bit more fun. I did quite a lot of this purple, then I did this foresty green, and then this sort of seafoam green. And as you can see, I did quite a lot of beading. Actually, I think everything that could be beaded on this section, I covered it. And I quite like how it's turning out. And I'm really happy I'm doing beading as I go, as always. So I've done it on my first Mirabilia that I finished in April, and I'm doing it again, and that's where scroll frames help for sure. So yeah, I felt a bit like cheating picking her up while she's only a May start, and I have projects that are much older and quite large and need finishing, but then I just let myself do it. If I'm happy stitching her right now and not one of my older whips, then so be it, then I should be stitching on her, right? After that, I think I was agonizing again, sort of what to pick up and what to stitch, and I decided to soothe my soul. I need to come back to something that sort of needed getting progress and has been with me for quite some time. That is my 12 Days of Christmas by, I always forget that I want to say Shepherd's Bush. No, they are Stony Creek. And as I've said a million times, you can either stitch it all together or do the central element and the ornament separately. I'm doing this version where everything's all together. And I stitched a full other day. So day 8 at the bottom here is now completely done. And I'm trying to fit in the frame, and it's the day with the 8 milkmaids. I actually really loved stitching on it because a lot of it was nice dark solid colors. Quite a few of the previous days, which are birds, have a lot of, you know, lighter colors, beige, white, and I really liked stitching with the dark colors on her. Quite nice and easy with the symmetrical buckets, and then I always love the back stitch done with the, I think it's a Classic Colorworks thread that's used in the border here as well. So I think each of the blocks is slightly different depending on how busy it is, obviously. This one was about 1500 stitches, so that was again quite nice progress. But that's why, as you'll see, I only made progress on a handful of whips and not on more. And so I'm really glad. So I've got how many, 5 left? Yeah, five days left, and like I said, I'll see how it goes. It might be a 1 day a month thing. I might try to do more. I'm not in any super rush to sort of finish it by Christmas. I have quite a lot of Christmas stitching already that could be put on the walls and decorate my living room for the holidays, so I'm not in any rush. I also would really like to frame it nicely, and by nicely, ideally, I mean a vintage wooden frame from like a thrift store, an antique store. I know there's quite a few new ones that look like it, but I've so the first ever Stony Creek I did was a Christmas related one as well, with the nativity scene, and I showed it on my channel before, and I framed it in an old vintage, it feels like a walnut kind of frame from, I think, about 50 years ago it is, and it looks gorgeous, and I feel like it adds to the sort of magical feel of the design. And this one is one I want to FFO the same way. I have had a look. It seems to be harder to find square frames for some reason than, you know, rectangular ones, but I'll keep on trying. So not in any rush to finish that one. And then next thing I stitched on in the second half of August, I've shown you this, shown you that. There was only one more whip, and then we'll move on to sort of other things and haul. So I'll show it on my stitching stand again. It's one that I'm working on at the moment. So as you know, every month since May, I'm trying to make progress of at least 1,000 stitches on Siri by Make It Pink. I'll insert the picture here. I'm not sure where my preview is at the moment. So she is a design by Hannah Alexander and charted by Ashley May of Make It Pink. And yeah, and she has got a few characters from Witcher, and I've decided to stitch Siri. She is a big lady, including all of the frame and the flowers and the background and everything that I'm stitching. It's 75,000 stitches, and it's currently my biggest project, and I think when I finish it, it's going to be my biggest ever completed, and that's what I've done on her in the last couple of days of August. So last week has been busy, so this week leading up to this Sunday, busy with work, busy with life, busy with other things, and so I only stitched a tiny little bit, and I think I've only done 1,200 stitches altogether. And that's including today, which is the 1st of September. So I'm cheating a little bit, but I'll include it here because, like I said, I didn't stitch much this week at all. And so I'll include today's stitches in here. And so I've worked, as you can see, on her left shoe mostly, and I've done quite a lot of back stitch on it as well. I tried to bring this light purple sort of skirt thing up and level with the side with the right side, so I can then fill in the middle. But like I said, haven't had enough time. So my plan was to do a minimum of 1,000, which I have completed just now. But ideally, I'd like it to be 2,000 because, like I said, she is quite big. It takes a while to make significant progress, and I don't want to stretch her for like 10 years. Ideally, a couple of years would be perfect, and I think for that I need to make progress of 2,000. So technically I haven't done what I planned to do in August on her, so I'm not quite sure yet. I haven't decided if I want to sort of spend the first couple of days of September finishing off that 2,000 goal, or just forget it and move on to my September stitching and then do another 2,000 on it during the month of September. Not sure yet. I'll decide and you'll see on my videos. So that's about it for second half of August. I think I've done about 5,000 stitches in these about 14 days, I think 13 days, which is not too bad. Like I said, again, my normal, and I'm just looking at my spreadsheet with all of my progress, my normal sort of stitchy progress during the month is right about 11,000, which is what I ended up doing. So even in the months where I have more time, something else happens, or you know, you get busy with this and that, there are days where you want to stitch but you just don't have the energy to do it. So 11,000 is quite nice. I am seeing now that I remember taking a picture last year in August when I reached 100,000 stitches that year, you know, in August already, but I'm not at 100,000 yet at all, and I will probably reach it in September, but we'll see. So yeah. What else? So the other thing I was doing in August was hoping to start working on my quilt, which I did not, so that didn't happen. Oh right, sorry, I forgot one more whip, because I was working on it sort of intermittently between other things, and wasn't again, it wasn't one that I could sort of settle down on and sit and make nice progress on, and I keep on forgetting to mention it or take pictures of it. So I have got a lovely friendly birthday start for my stitchy friend from Belarus, and she loves everything to do with bees and bumblebees, and I'm stitching the Mill Hill bee square design to celebrate that. I want to say for her, but she's already got one like that. I'm stitching it for me to celebrate her birthday. That was in June, and this is the progress I've made so far. So I was sort of stitching and beading, and then I got a bit bored of doing both, and I decided to finish all the stitches first and then go into beading. So that's what I've done so far. I think I only made a tiny progress of 400 stitches in August altogether. I think some of it might have been at the beginning of the month, but I haven't shown you, but here it is now. I love the checker patterns, both in the corners and here. These are done with flosses and beads, and the green is all just flosses, which are long straight satin stitches using all 6 strands. And I love the hives that all have each different patterns, and again they'll be using some beads. I'm also stitching these bees in this side of the border and trying to complete this pattern on this side. So it's taking me a while because I'm just not drawn to it necessarily, but I really don't want to let it roll over into 2025. So I'm determined to keep on sort of poking at it bit by bit, and hopefully that means I will make some progress and finish it at some point this year. I'm not giving myself any goals anymore. I thought I could finish it in August and sort of wrap up a nice summary, you know, start and finish, but I'll just keep on poking at it and finish it at some point this year. Yeah, so that's all of the WIPs now. And so like I was saying, I was really hoping to work on my quilt that I cut at the end of July, beginning of August, but I didn't have time or desire, to be honest, to do that. What I did sew was a project bag for my dad. So as I mentioned in the previous video, my dad cross stitches as well, but he doesn't have a collection of DMCs and fabrics because he normally stitches using kits. But he purchased a digital cross stitch pattern, and I volunteered to kit it up for him. And him and my mom have also liked my project bags, and so I've offered to sew them, one each. My mom actually didn't like any of the fabrics I had in stash and opted for one of the bags that I had already made, and so she'll be getting that one. But my dad asked for this William Morris sort of inspired fabric that's got, I think these are tulips, peonies, tulips, right? But it's got this really dark navy, almost black background with beautiful cool toned blues and greens, and I absolutely love it. And so I paired it with this mottled blue. It's looking much brighter on camera, I can see now, but it's not as bright. It matches really well with this pale blue in the design. So I did that, did my quilting as always, and then this is sort of the kit that is going to my dad's. Like I said, I just wanted to show it in the video as well before I send it. I've put all of the DMC colors on here. He's got two, there's another one somewhere in there, two spools of crying egg and a big chunk of Belfast linen. He has never stitched on linen before. I think he stitched on even weave once, and so I've suggested, I don't even have any even weave at home to cut a piece of for him, so I've suggested I send him a piece of linen and he'll try, and if he doesn't like it he can use the Ada that he has. So that's all been serged, you know, and put in there, and I'll probably pick one of my needle minders to gift him as well. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how the bag turned out, and I really like the combination of colors, so I hope he'll enjoy this. I don't know if he watches my channel, but it's not a surprise because he asked for this specific fabric. So yeah, what else have I been up to in August? I think, when did we go to the wedding? Did I film it after we came back? We went to a wedding in August, if I haven't said about this before. The last couple of weeks have been a bit manic, and so my brain's scrambled and I can't remember all the things. Then we spent some time with my husband's family because it was my brother-in-law's birthday. So we spent some time with the family, it was great. And then I think we spent the rest of the month just sort of doing life, catching up on some things and dealing with some work stuff, so nothing much to report. I think we were planning to have like a movie and dinner date night, but haven't had a chance in these last couple of weeks, so we might do it sometime in September. As for plans, let me talk about stitchy plans here as well, besides sort of talking to you about haul. So I have not done any starts in August, I think, at all. No, I did the spider lily that is not finished yet, and I think I had another start that is already finished. So I only had one start in August, and I don't have any planned for September. I was, let me just show you, where have I put it? I had it somewhere right here. I was hoping to, there she is. I was hoping to start the companion to my Winter Hair by Nora, which is the Winter Owl. I've got the silk left from the hair. She's already in the bag that the hair lived in. I've got the fabric ironed, cut to size, serged, ironed, put on the scroll frame, sewn on the scroll frame, but I just like I said, the last couple of weeks have been a bit manic, so I haven't had the chance to start it. And so I have been looking at my whips, and I have been feeling a bit guilty about the amount of them, and the amount of them that are old, and the amount of them that are very new and recent and only have very little progress. So this happens to me every sort of few months, where instead of wanting to start all the things, I start wanting to finish all the things. And so I have a birthday in my birthday in November, and I was really hoping to have a start along on that day, and I am sort of I had one idea, and now it's changing slightly to possibly more starts that are on theme. And so I'm sort of still trying to work out what I want to do with my birthday start. I'm off that week in November, and I also have a stitching meetup in Nottingham, which I'm really excited about. So what I'm trying to say is, because I'm feeling guilty about the number of whips I have, but I still want to start a few things quite soon. So that's only like a month and a half away. What I'm hoping to do, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and this might change tomorrow and I might change my mind and do something else, is to spend the next month and a half not starting things but finishing things. I have quite a few projects that are really close to being done. I have quite a few projects that have been with me for a while and could be finished in a month and a half, together with other stitching. So I haven't had a proper look at like the numbers and exactly what I needed to finish, but no, that's not a month and a half, that's 2.5 actually. September, October, and half of November. Yes, so 2.5 months, that's even better. So I think what I'm going to do is have a look at my whips. I currently have, on the 1st of September, I have 16, which is too many for me personally. Like I said, love watching videos with, you know, 30, 50, 100, however many you have. But these are just starting to annoy me slightly. So I'm going to probably have a look and make a short list of a few projects that are potentially that I could potentially finish in these 2.5 months. And so I'm going to only work on these in the next 2.5 months. I'm still probably going to work on Siri because she's, like I said, so big, and I want to make progress on her, and I love her, and so you'll probably see her as well. But yeah, I might come back for a middle of the month update in September again. I might not, we'll see how the videos go. I'll definitely be back at the end of September and October to show you my progress, and then I'll probably either include this in one of these videos or make a separate little one closer to the time about the start along that I want to host on my birthday, and the designs that I'm planning to start, and invite you guys to join me as well if you'd like to do that. So yeah, that's pretty much my plan for the next couple of months. And then last thing I'll show you today is some haul, like I said. So August was really lucky for me in terms of finding things on Facebook Marketplace and eBay, and so I've got a few really nice things. I think I've already shown you the fabric for the mermaid. I'll show you the rest. So I purchased this pattern at Create Nostalgia when I went to the store on in July on my trip to Northern Wales. They didn't have this one in the Nimble Thimble, but I rang them up and asked them if they could kit it up for me with the silks like they do with the patterns that they sell in the store. And they normally don't do it if you bought the pattern somewhere else, but because I was at the Nimble Thimble the day before, they were nice enough to kit it up for me and, you know, just charge me for the silks themselves. So the silks came on this lovely floss card, and I now consider it a kit because I have the pattern and I can just pull any fabric that I have in stash to match this up. So I was really glad this could be done. I would have spent definitely a fortune trying to kit it out because it's all silks. It's dinky dyes, thread gather, and NPIs, I think, or maybe needlepoint, not MPS, or is that the same? That's not the same. Needlepoint silk, and I don't have any of those in stash, and I would rather have them per kit than, you know, buy whole skeins, obviously. Then I found a few treasures, like I said, on Facebook Marketplace. I've got some lovely massive cuts of linen. So this is a fat half of, I think it's Witcheled in cream, 32 count linen. Love it. Now that I've been dyeing more fabrics, I have decided to sort of try finding these deals for just natural color linen, so I can dye more of it myself into the colors that I want. And then I got the same size big piece of Belfast linen, and this is the piece I cut off a piece from my dad. I apparently ran out of white linen completely, so this was very much perfect timing. I've got another, I've probably had that half of a natural color 32 count linen as well. Love this, perfect for Christmas stitching, sort of floral stitching, I think. And then I found someone who was selling a few shepherd's bush kits and got an absolute dream of the Earth Gatherers. So you can buy this as a pattern with the embellishment pack, but this was actually a vintage kit. It has all of the DMCs, the fabric, the beads, the embellishments, the floss card, and I've been thinking of starting one of these for a while now. They have 4 in the series of gatherers, and I couldn't decide which one I liked the most. This one was one of the 1 or 2 that were my favorite, and then sort of fate decided for me, and I've got the Earth Gatherers. It's not going to be an immediate start or a 2024 start for sure. It's quite massive. I need to get ready for it. I have a few other big projects that I would like to finish first, but it's going to be a start at some point soon. And then it also came with these 2 lovely smalls. This is Peter's Patch, and this is a kit as well. This one was started a little bit, and I was told beforehand, and I'm going to just frog it because it's stitched with 2 strands instead of 1, and then restart it myself. All the floss is already sorted, which is nice. And then its companion, what's it called? Sophie's Roses, a kit as well. This one was sorted but not started, so very lucky, very lucky. When I went over to collect them, because I was lucky enough to find a seller who lives near me, I also saw that she was selling a few other patterns and kits, and I just could not resist this beauty. So I have seen this before. I have stitched a cross and patch design before, and I've never seen such a gorgeous massive one, and I fell in love first sight. So this is The Garden number 120 by Cross and Patch, and it's a vintage pattern with sort of half a kit here. Someone, you know, put things together for it. So I've got a fat quarter of a cream Belfast linen, and then I have a few pearl flosses by DMC, and then there's a couple of lovely Needle Necessities colors which apparently are out of production and you can't buy anymore. I'm missing another Needle Necessities pearl color in size 8, Needle Necessities are now called Threadworks, but I'll have to have a look and see where I can substitute it. This is the element that's stitched with that, so it's like a dark burgundy red with pinks, and it's you stitch the grapes with it. So I'm sure I can find another dyer who has something similar to it. So very, very happy to have found these. And then I've also got a couple of colors of cottage garden threads from someone on Facebook as well. So I've never stitched with these before and I was quite curious to try. I know they dye them in Australia, and like I said, I've been really curious to try. So I've got 5 colors just randomly from the selection that the stitcher had. I've got this lovely raspberry, perfect for Christmas stitching and not only. Rolling Stone is a gorgeous dark green to sort of beigey mint. Lychee is probably the only sort of disappointment because I googled the colors before I got them and they did look slightly different in pictures, but lychee was meant to be more of a light green and it's very sort of straw beige, but I'll find where to use it anyways. Garden Path is a lovely moody purple with some golden beige. And then I've got the Bienvenue, I think that's how you pronounce it. I do not speak French, sorry. And it's a sort of salmony pink purple, similar to the Garden Path purple, but probably slightly lighter. So lovely colors. I love that they have 10 meter flosses here and they're already pre-cut, so it's nice and easy to use them. Very excited. I have been trying to sub some of the colors in the smaller designs with my stash flosses, so that's definitely going to help with that. And then I got a parcel from my stitchy friend Masha from Belarus, like I said, and she sent me my purchases from the Owl Forest. I'll have to grab the book to show you these. So the Owl Forest book that I keep on promising you to do a flip through for has quite a few designs that I really love, and I've decided to buy the flosses for the huntsman, Robin Hood in my world, and so I got those DMC based. And then I've also been in love with this Winter Owl sampler, which looks like an owl wedding to me. And it would be perfect color wise to be put up on the wall in our bedroom. And I've got the thread pack for this as well. And then besides sending me my purchases from Owl Forest, my friend also sent me a few little gifts. So she knows how much I love black cats and stitching, and she sent me this lovely little mill-hill. She also knows I love apples and I love autumn, and she treated me to this cute little design. And then she also sent me some gifts from Italy. So she had a trip to a couple of cities in Italy, found a fantastic crochet store that is unfortunately closing doors and having a sale of everything they have left, and they had a few vintage mill-hill kits with the Garden Gates, from the Garden Gates series. So this is Sunflower and Sunshine. Then she got me summer gardening with this lovely tree and the birdhouse. Then I've got Summer Pond, and probably one of my favorites, Garden Get Together with the beehives. So really lovely gifts. The only thing that she noticed after she's got them, and she's got the same ones for her, is they were missing some of the mill-hill treasures. So the rest of it is in the kit. You've got the lovely Ada that's got this floral edge on it. It's got the flosses, beads, but the treasures were missing. So some of them have both because she added them from her own stash. Some of them have only one because she didn't have one like that. But I'm really excited to try these and see how I can, you know, be creative, pick something from my own stash and match the theme on these myself. I think that's it for August. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but if I am, I'll tell you about it all in September. So thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope you enjoyed this video and at least found it entertaining. I'll be back soon with another stitchy update. Like I said, maybe in the middle of the month, maybe at the end. I might film other videos this month. I haven't had a chance to sit down and plan anything for September. I'm quite excited for cooler weather settling in, for autumn coming. It's my favorite season. I love autumn in UK as well. It's quite long and dry and warm, and we have lovely sunny but chilly days, which is probably my favorite. Both mine and my husband's birthdays are not in September, in autumn. So is my sister's, so there's quite a few things to celebrate, and I'm really excited for this time of the year always. Yeah, I'm hoping to get a bit more stitching done, and as soon as the weather goes a bit worse and there's not as much to do outside, but you'll see, like I said, all of this in my other stitchy updates. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to message me in the comments below, or on Instagram at Maria_the_Green Stitcher, and I'm always happy to chat. And yeah, have wonderful stitchy time in September. I would love to hear what your plans are for the next sort of couple of months. If you're doing any Halloween stitching, if you're doing any themed starts, if anyone has a birthday start along they want to run, I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys later. Bye.